Hey, Baz the Grand Dude here to discuss with you the subject of my latest song, The Surprising Story of the Life of My Music School Teacher in Elementary School, Mr. Orth. Now, many of you who grew up in Mundelein, Illinois, knew Mr. Orth because he taught all of us music. And he would start these classes sometimes with what I would call ta-ta-ti-ti-ta contest. This is a contest, to the best of my memory, that I never lost. And if someone wants to challenge me on that, then come at me. But as I recall, he would go to the front of the room, he'd have a tambourine. This is not a tambourine, but he'd do, that is ta-ta-ti-ti-ta. There were several variations. There was ti-ti-ti-ta-ta. There was all this kind of stuff. And you had to identify the quarter notes or half notes or whatever that were in that pattern. So often what would happen is have one side of the room against the other side of the room, and if you got it right, you went back in the line. If you got it wrong, you sat down. And I distinctly remember one of the last times I played this, it was like down to me and 10 people on the other side, and we kept going and going and going, and the class bell rang, and it was 1 against 4. And Mr. Orth wouldn't let the people on the 4 side say that they won because he didn't know how long that I could go for it. So I am the undefeated champion at ta-ta-ti-ti-ta. I don't care what you say. Okay, I might care what you say. I want to hear if you have a differing opinion on that. Anyway, he became a friend, well, his family became friends with my family. And I remember coming home from school one day, and you know and you don't know when you're a kid. Mrs. Orth and his sons were in our backyard in the kiddie pool, the inflatable kiddie pool, splashing around. I was like, I kind of wanted to think, hey, don't they live at school? What are they doing here? And Mom was just telling me, hey, it was a hot day. Mrs. Orth wanted to come over with kids, and they did so. Okay, fine. So fast forward a few years, and I was in college in South Carolina, and Mr. Orth had gone away before I went to high school to chase his dream of some sort. And that was as specific as we got, or as I remember anyway. And we were watching PBS, and an opera came on, and there was Mr. Orth singing an opera, which was super cool. So that was great. That was in the 80s. Then fast forward another 20 plus years, and I was living in Charlotte, North Carolina, and watching a TV show called Revolution. And it was kind of cool when the credits came on. I saw David Lyons, which was the name of my boss. I was like, ha, that's funny, there's a name I know. And then a couple names later is Zach Orth. And I was thinking, wow, one of those kids in the pool was named Zach. How many Zach Orths could there be? So I looked him up because the internet was a thing now. And sure enough, Zach Orth was from Libertyville, Illinois, which is right next to Mundelein, Illinois. Figured he could be the same guy. I wonder if I could look up Mr. Orth as well. And I did, and I found him, and he was indeed singing opera. And I was able to start a conversation with Mr. Orth, which was great. It was Facebook Messenger. We talked about the ta-ta-ti-ti-ta contest, and he said he laughed when he read about that and said Mrs. Orth remembered us as well. And it was just a great conversation. We talked about jazz and all kinds of good stuff. He didn't say this, but I had looked it up later. He was actually Artist of the Year in Seattle and New York opera houses. Pretty darn fine job for a guy who was an elementary school teacher and finally just said, heck with it, I'm going to go sing opera. He billed himself as the best baritone in his price range, which is the name of this song in honor of him. So if you knew Mr. Orth, or as I would recommend now, you can now go learn about Mr. Orth, please think of him being the best baritone in his price range.
He brought the magic school day lift, dramatic, cured mortal ills like a taboo. The handlebar mustache repertoire unmatched, kids sang like a loud pirate's crew. But hey, this was grade school, still learning we must do. Let's learn music down to the core. We'll learn about meter with a tambourine teacher, of notes quartered, halved, and much more. Ta-ta-ti-ti-ta, outsiders might think it quite strange. Little did I know the conductor be known the best baritone in his price range. His kids splashed our pool, but he didn't live in school. Teachers were people too, it would seem. Years rolled on past, he slipped out of the cast. He went off to chase his singing dream. Ta-ta-ti-ti-ta, outsiders might think it quite strange. Little did I know the conductor'd be known as the best baritone in his price range. More years passed by, old kids grew, empty nest came for me. I saw one of those cool kids acting on primetime TV. Reminded I found the magician from decades before. He said that he laughed when he read of my titles of yore. Ta-ta-ti-ti-ta, outsiders might think it quite strange. I was the king of this contest, so proud to be crowned by the best baritone in his price range. Artist of the year from Seattle and New York Opera House. Said my music was fun, terrific, and asked about my mom. I swore that I'd travel to see him perform when retired, but I didn't get my chance, the magic expired. It wasn't till years after he passed that I realized something sublime. He was just 27 when he chased his big dream, career and family on the line. What does it say to you? What does it say to me? His chasing that possible dream. Did I wait too long for ti-ti-ta titles to break me from workday routine? Ta-ta-ti-ti-ta, outsiders might think it quite strange. I was the king of this contest, so proud to be crowned by the best baritone. The best baritone, the very best baritone in his price range.